Are you ready for some explosive news from the world of Formula One? It's time to uncover the bombshell revelation about Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz's rivalry. Sainz has been outpacing Leclerc this season, even winning races that Max Verstappen didn't. And guess what? Leclerc recently revealed how he really feels about it, and it's got him fuming. So, let's watch this video today to learn all the juicy details about this intense rivalry and its impact on the F1 circuit. In 2023, Red Bull Racing won almost every race, but Carlos Sainz won in Singapore. This year, Red Bull has been winning again, except for one race in Australia, which Sainz also won. Even though Sainz has raced one less time, he's just 4 points behind Leclerc. Leclerc isn't happy with how he's performing. His Ferrari teammate Charles Leclerc admitted, "I would lie if I said I'm happy with that. Of course not. But we will see. I think the points at the end of the season are even more so. However, I want to win, and I want to be back to winning as soon as possible. Carlos has done an amazing job in the 2 opportunities we had in winning, and now it's up to me to react and hopefully win the next one. That's the target," the Monegasque said in Japan. Leclerc believes people focus too much on recent events and forget what happened before. He thinks opinions are too influenced by the last race. When asked if it concerns him to be outpaced by Sainz, who won't be with Ferrari next year, Leclerc responded, "But the fact that Carlos won't be with Ferrari next year doesn't make me feel more pressure. My aim is always to win." Leclerc says, "Such a fast Sainz, as a Ferrari F1 teammate, pushes me to improve. Sainz didn't race in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix because he had to have appendicitis surgery, but he made a strong comeback in Melbourne and won the race easily. He got lucky when the race leader, Max Verstappen, had to stop because of brake trouble." Leclerc finished right behind Sainz in second place. He didn't start the race in the best position, only 5th on the grid. He was a bit slower than the lead SF24 car by 0.2 Leclerc managed to get ahead of Lando Norris from McLaren but couldn't catch up to Sainz. He said he didn't handle his tyres well during the race. Before his second pit stop, Leclerc lost 6.4 seconds to Sainz. Sainz had fresher tyres by 7 laps. When asked if he could have done more to win, Leclerc said honestly, "I could have been better. I think I didn't do well enough in qualifying yesterday." In the second part of today's race, when I was using the hard tyres for the first time, the front left tyre started to wear a lot after the virtual safety car. My last stint went well, but it wasn't enough to catch up, so Carlos has simply been better this weekend. But this has been the pattern for the last 3 years. Sometimes, Carlos performs better in one race, and then I push myself to do better in the next. It goes back and forth like that. As a driver, it's really exciting to have such a fast teammate. In 2025, Sainz will be available to join any team in Formula One because he doesn't have a contract. Ferrari has already signed Lewis Hamilton, a 7-time world champion, to race alongside Leclerc starting from then. Sainz will be keeping an eye on Hamilton's spot at Mercedes and Perez's position at Red Bull. Even though the media doesn't always consider him one of the best drivers, Leclerc thinks differently. When asked why Sainz is underrated, Leclerc said, "Everyone in the paddock knows how good Carlos is. He's highly respected in Formula One. Every time he's been in a Formula One car, he's been strong and proven himself many times. So I don't think he's underrated for his skills. Everyone knows what Carlos brings to the table. I'm not worried about his future because I'm sure many team bosses are interested in him. He might not say it, but I'm sure they're talking to him. He'll have lots of opportunities and he just needs to pick the best one for his career." Former F1 driver analyzes performance difference between Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz in 2024. Even though Charles Leclerc is ahead of his Ferrari teammate by 4 points in the driver standings, Carlos Sainz's start to the 2024 Formula One season, his last with Scuderia Ferrari, has been impressively strong. The Spaniard secured a fantastic win in Melbourne at the Albert Park circuit, despite missing the race in Jeddah due to appendicitis and not being in his best physical shape. He also finished ahead of Leclerc in the last race at the Suzuka circuit in Japan. As Formula One heads to China for the 5th race of the season, Sainz has shown dominance over Leclerc at the beginning of the 2024 campaign. At the start of 2024, Sainz knew that he would need a new job for the following year. Ferrari decided not to renew his contract for the next season and instead signed Lewis Hamilton to race alongside Sainz, who was already under contract. Charles Leclerc has been having a tough time during qualifying in the last 2 Grand Prix races, which is usually a strong point for the team. He's been struggling to get the tyres working properly for the crucial lap, hurting his chances of getting on the podium during the races. The need to find a new job seems to have motivated Carlos Sainz. After a good performance in 2023, he outperforms Leclerc in the 3 races they've competed in together this year. Even though he missed the Saudi Arabia race due to his appendix surgery, Sainz finished ahead of Leclerc in Bahrain and Japan. With Leclerc behind him, he also won the Australian Grand Prix in a really impressive drive. Thierry Boutsen, a 3-time F1 Grand Prix and Le Mans winner, thinks Sainz is doing a great job. However, he believes that the difference in circumstances between the 2 Ferrari drivers might explain the performance gap. In an exclusive interview with PlanetF1.com from his offices in Monaco, Boutsen said, "Sainz has been driving very well, but the car has never been very good. If you look at the performance of the 2 drivers, it's been up and down. Sometimes Leclerc is ahead, sometimes it's Sainz. Leclerc is incredibly fast in qualifying. When the car matches his preferred speed, he's had some amazing races. Like when he first drove for Ferrari and won at Spa and Monza, his driving was incredible. I think he needs that car and environment to keep winning constantly." Sainz is in a different situation. He's never been as dominant as Charles. When he was with Vettel, he easily outperformed Vettel. These 2 guys are in very different situations with different goals. One has already signed a contract, so he's maybe taking a step back to plan for the future and help the team. But Sainz needs to do his best in the remaining races with Ferrari because he has no choice. So the pressure they face and their mindsets are different too. Personally, I'd choose Charles over Carlos if I could. Boutsen explained this choice by mentioning that Leclerc consistently performs better. Looking at their performance over the years they've been together, Charles has been faster than Carlos, he said. To justify this decision, Boutsen pointed out that Leclerc has consistently performed better over the years. "If you look at the person over the years they've been together, Charles has been quicker than Carlos," he said. "Now the situation is different. So different for the 2 of them, they have a different way of looking at the future. I would keep Charles for sure. He has got more speed, more potential for winning." With Hamilton leaving Mercedes after over a decade of success, replacing Ferrari's top performer might seem poorly timed for team boss Fred Vasseur. However, Boutsen doesn't think Vasseur will regret replacing Sainz with Hamilton. "I don't think so," he said. "I think every team would like to have Hamilton driving for them. And for Hamilton, it's a very good opportunity to go to Ferrari. Every driver in the world dreams of driving for Ferrari one day, and he does it, let's say, towards the end of his career. If he waits 1 or 2 more years, the door will be closed for him, so it's the right move at the right time for him." So, what do you think of the bombshell by Charles Leclerc over Sainz's dominance? Comment below and subscribe for more.